Good morning, everybody. It is 6 o'clock on November the 6th. Donald Trump has officially won the presidency. The final tally is not quite in yet. We're waiting on a few swing states. We're waiting on, as of right now, at this exact moment, we're still waiting on Arizona and Nevada and Michigan. Other than that, Trump has 279, which means he has won the Electoral College. And he's won the popular vote so far by 5 million votes. And it doesn't look like that's going to shift. So there's pretty much no doubt at this point that Trump has won the presidency. Woohoo! Yay! Have your little micro celebrations. All right, celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Cool, 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 cool. All right, let's talk and get to work, okay? Because we have a lot of work to do. Based off of how terrible Kamala Harris is, because she is terrible, based off of how much inflation and other policies have absolutely brutalized us over the past couple of years, based off of every single thing that we have seen and have experienced, this should have been an immediate blowout. And it may end up being an electoral blowout if all of Michigan, Arizona, and Nevada end up swinging Trump officially very soon, which I think they all will at this point. I feel like they all said, we're going to take 10 days to read the votes, unless it's a super obvious win. And it ended up being a super obvious win. But, anyways, despite all of the, celebrations and the definiteness of Trump winning, there's my wild puppa being a feral boy. Um, we have some work to do over the next 4 years. We have some very serious work to do because of a couple of things. Okay, first, my wife said this is a joke last night uh, that Donald Trump is a pro at beating women, which I thought was hilarious. But the majority of those swing states were very close, razor thin margins. As a matter of fact, Wisconsin, um, as that last vote dump came in that officially said, "Hey, Trump has won." Uh, First, thank you, cheeseheads. Second, that was a really thin margin. It was just a little bit over 1%. Farrell pup. Farrell pup. You gonna do it? Do the thing. Okay. Um, all of these have been like razor thin results. They've been so dadgum close. Pennsylvania was close. Georgia was close for a while. Georgia, I think, is less close now. Arizona is close. Nevada is close. Something that we've been doing is not working. And it can't take the pain of 4 years of Biden and Harris in order to convince people of the truth. Something that we have been doing is not working, okay? Because if it takes 4 years of pain uh, in order for people to wake up and see the truth, then we're looking at the next president being Democrat. So Republicans, we got some pretty serious work to do because the way that we've been doing these things, our mocking tones, our facts don't care about your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings was fun for a while until we get to the point that we realize it doesn't really work as a mode of convincing people. Facts don't care about your feelings does not work. So we need to readjust our strategy a little bit. And I think what we need to do is take this next 1 year right now, okay? Not in 3 years when it's time for the next presidential presidential debate and stuff like that. Before we know who the candidates are, we need to be working right now. Okay. A lot of the things that we have talked about with Trump and Harris pretty obvious to prove that either the Republican position or just Trump, if the Republicans are being stupid, is the side that's correct. I've told you guys pretty often, there are tons of reasons to not like Trump, not be a fan of Trump, and not want to support Trump. The reasons that the news gives you are bogus, bullcrap reasons, okay? The very fine people on both sides thing saying that that's talking about neo-Nazis and white nationalists, when in the exact same speech about a minute later in that video, MSNBC video, he says, and I'm not talking about neo-Nazis, white nationalists, they should be condemned totally, all the January 6th crap, uh, all of the ridiculous convictions that he got loaded up with, all these things that to us are very obvious are not very obvious to them. We have got to work on the things that make it difficult for them to see the truth. One of those things is the mass media, okay? One of those things is the stranglehold that these giant media companies have over not just the news, but all of entertainment, all of Hollywood and whatnot. That is a big stranglehold. I don't think it's a coincidence that so many of the celebrities that came out to support Kamala Harris are probably on the Diddy list. That doesn't shock me, but we keep handing them wins, and it's a lot of conservative Republicans, older conservative Republicans, that are handing those wins to the Democrat Party. We have got to stop doing that. I'll tell you one of the ways right away that we've got to stop doing it, okay? We need to stop picking fights over stupid things. And we need to stop badgering stories that don't matter, okay? For example, I care a lot more about what was going on between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard than I did about whatever the heck happened at Nancy Pelosi's house or how much ice cream she's got in her freezer. Who cares? It can be funny to like ask about how much ice cream is in Nancy Pelosi's freezer. It is definitely odd, the story of the person that broke in and attacked her husband, but we spend way too much time on stupid stories that don't matter. Meanwhile, in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, the Me Too movement itself was being put on trial. That's a much more important story than how much money Nancy Pelosi spends on ice cream and whiskey. Okay? Uh, the stories of these of the media companies, of MSNBC, and this is why I'm going to tell you this in a minute, of MSNBC admitting on an undercover camera that they are the propaganda wing of the Democrat Party. That they, whatever, what was I think it was either the showrunner or something like that, who was saying on a date with an undercover camera. Um, Let me try to remember the words. Whatever she, Kamala Harris, wants to say, that's what we say. He admitted, and then what I thought was really funny is the undercover camera almost blew their cover trying to like state it super obvious. So you're saying that MSNBC is the propaganda of the Kamala Harris campaign? And he kind of pauses for a moment because it's a weird question. He goes, yes. That's a really big issue, and why a lot of people still buy the Democrat positions. But we give them their strangleholds when we continue to tune into them. When we continue to give them money and watch their shows and consume their content and use their articles as news sources, we hand it to them. We make them credible. And we've got to stop doing that. Here's a way that we can stop doing that, okay? Rumble is becoming a viable alternative. Rumble still has an issue with a variety of creators. Hey, you can come follow me for that. I've got some gaming stuff up there. I've got some theology stuff I'm putting up there. I've started doing audiobooks. There are plenty of comedians who've started to move their stuff over here. here's what I want, and here's what you want to do. Okay, you want to kind of shake YouTube's ability to alter elections and to cause interference. Here's what you do: go find all of your creators and people that you follow on on YouTube, send them a message or put a comment in there like, hey, I'm looking for your Rumble channel. Just let me know if you're going to be over there, and I will switch entirely over to Rumble. Here's a couple of good reasons to do that. First, YouTube changes its rules on a daily basis. I've been hit by the YouTube censorship stuff, not as severely as like a Crowder or a Daily Wire or a Prager University, but I've been hit with some of the shadow banning as well. They don't care. They'll change rules on a dime. Rumble doesn't do that. Rumble snubbed France when France was trying to control them. Now, on top of that, Rumble pays its creators significantly better, and you're monetized like that. What was it? A few days ago, I uploaded, I think, 3 videos on a day-to-day basis and made 2 pennies, and I have 27 subscribers as of the recording of this video. That's pretty good. If I had 100 subscribers, I might be making a few bucks. If I had 1,000 subscribers, which is the point on which you can start getting ad revenue from, well, you can apply for ad revenue from YouTube, I would probably be making a significant enough amount that I could justify cutting out chunks of my week in order to put content on Rumble. Okay? YouTube is dead. YouTube overextended itself. Rumble has fixed a lot of those problems. The biggest stream of the election night was Louder with Crowder at 500,000 views. And that was, if I remember correctly, that was across all platforms. 500,000 concurrent viewers. That's a big deal. Okay? There's enough in place, but you have to commit. And I want to encourage you to do this, okay? If you see me on YouTube, I don't care about getting popular on YouTube. Ditch YouTube, subscribe on Rumble. If you see me put up a video on YouTube, just go, oh, cool. 1 out of 1 put up a video. Let's go check it out on Rumble. Please, please, let's actually commit to that. Let's actually commit to ditching YouTube. Also, if you see some dishonesty from the mainstream media, let's just put it this way, okay? Let's say that you find a person who is consistently dishonest in the media. Like, let's say Rachel Maddow, or let's say Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, or I don't know, Jake Tapper, whoever it is, one of the Cuomo idiots. Don't watch them. Unfollow them. I promise you, you can still get your news. Stop conforming. Because when you make them realize that they have to be honest, watch how much CNN backpedaled over the past week as they realized that Trump was going to win. When you stop giving them power, they have to start being honest. I think that's step 1. I think 2 is that we've got to change our approach face to face. We have got to, and this is something that irritates me because I've seen plenty of churches and pastors do this. When they're face to face with someone, they're kind, they're considerate, they're compassionate, and then they get behind the pulpit or behind the camera and they're mean and they're aggressive and they're calling people stupid, or they're saying you're not voting your Christian values and whatnot. It's like, that conflict of message is very jarring. We need some consistency here, okay? And people who know me will say that I try really hard to be the same person in front of the camera as face to face. You get me talking on the anything political, it's going to look the same as it does when I pull out the camera. So it's part of who I am. We have to start living more consistently. We have to stop the stupid insult stuff. And here's what I want to challenge you to do. This is something I've been doing for a while, and I think it gained me some respect among some Democrat people. Always separate the Democrat voter from the Democrat politician. Always separate them, because the Democrat politician is corrupt. Okay? The Nancy Pelosi's, the AOC's, I'm trying to remember who else there was somebody recently that was big in the news. I mean, Tim Walz, obviously. who is that guy from, I think, New Jersey that that got convicted of being a foreign asset? Like, we know they're corrupt, but the average everyday American probably isn't. The average everyday American probably actually does believe the things that they're saying. That's the problem with the politicians. They know it's not true. I guarantee you, every single politician that claimed that Trump was saying neo Nazis and white nationalists were very fine people saw the entire MSNBC clip and know better. But the average everyday voter probably hasn't. And the funny thing is, the way that we actually successfully convince people is the same way that we convince someone of Christianity. We approach in love, we approach with a compassionate heart to convince, not to shame. And it's hard to do because, the other side is constantly trying to shame us, trying to ridicule us, trying to call us evil. It's hard, but just making sure my mic is still on. But it's the only way forward. If you want to risk seeing Democrats retake the presidency, the Senate, Congress, which I think that they might get the House of Representatives, but we at least got the Senate and the presidency. If you don't want to see them take it back 4 years from now, we've got some groundwork to do. We have got to drastically improve the way that we interact with our fellow Americans, which is what I'm going to leave you with right now. I'll be very excited to see. My prediction is that either during the time of this recording or shortly after, Michigan and maybe Nevada will be called for Trump. I think Arizona is corrupt. That's who. There's the person. Whoever the chick was that beat Carrie Lake last time, the governor of Arizona. I think she is going to be corrupt to the last moment, and if she tries to do a steal, I think she's going to get caught, and it's going to be glorious. Too many eyes. Also, check out the Louder with Crowder election integrity map. It's incredible. And we've, finally somebody who's not a mainstream media source, an independent creator, has the same resources as NBC, CNN, CBS, Fox News, and yeah. And it's also got a list of. I think they're still working on fixing it because they got hit with massive DDoS attacks last night, the entire night. The map was not functional for so long. Curious why the DDoS attacks didn't happen to CNN, MSNBC, CNN, and all the others, but it happened repeatedly to Crowder. Anyways, y'all have a good rest of your day. I'm already pulling for Vance 2028. Bye, guys.